Okay, you should have your social studies notebook, a highlighter, a glue stick, a pencil, and have all those things on your desk. And I'm looking for students who are following directions. Can you pass one of these out to everyone? Look up at the screen. What are we talking about today? Egypt. We're talking about ancient Egypt. If I say ancient Egypt, is that something that sounds new or old? Old, right, because of the word ancient. First, we're going to label all of the continents. So, I have Asia right here in my hand. Where should I move it? Which color?
Blue.
What color?
Purple.
Good job. Where should I move North America? What color?
Blue.
Blue. What about Antarctica?
Red.
Blue and white. Yeah, we'll go down here. What about South America? I think so too. Australia? What color?
Yellow.
Good job. Africa, what color? So that leaves Europe in what color? Green. Okay, let's see if we got them right.
Yes.
Oh, we got those right, yes. But this part says erase where you think Egypt is located. So this is my eraser. Where should I go? Over here?
No.
Over here? Over here? There it is. This is Egypt. What continent is this? Africa. That's right. Egypt is located on the continent of, say it with me, Africa. Egypt. We're going to explore ancient Egypt together. First, let's find Egypt. Before we begin, we must travel to Egypt, which is one of the many countries within the continent of Africa. Can you find where the ancient Egyptians lived? Can you find Egypt? Say yes or no. Should I try this one? Yeah, we got it. Good job. Egypt, well done. Egypt is the northeastern edge of Africa, where Africa joins Asia. Can you guys see? The Mediterranean Sea lies to the north, and the Red Sea lies to the east. So which way is north? Which way is north? Up. So this is the Mediterranean Sea, and which way is the Red Sea? It says east.
That way.
Yeah, you say sour, never eat sour worms.
What?
That's one way to remember.
Never eat soggy waffles.
That's another one.
Waffles. Never eat soggy waffles.
This is the Nile River, and it's in Egypt. And it's showing us all the different rivers that go out into the Mediterranean Sea. Now let's look back.
Before.
And now, take out your note sheet and your highlighter. Awesome. Well, you can tell me about that later. Right now, let's look at Egypt. Let's look at ancient Egypt. It says ancient Egyptians lived in the country of Egypt. Egypt is located in the northeastern corner of the continent of Africa. Everyone take out your highlighter and highlight right here. Egypt is located in the northeastern corner of the continent of Africa. A desert covers most of the land. A small part of Egypt consists of rich farmland. This fertile land is located along the banks of the longest river in the world, the Nile. I want you to highlight where it says, a small part of Egypt consists of rich farmland. This river is located along the longest river in the world, the Nile. For thousands of years, floodwaters from this river have made the nearby soil excellent for farming. Its water has also been used to irrigate the land. The next paragraph. Egypt has a hot, dry climate and only 2 seasons. Highlight that. Blistering summers and cool winters. Because of its harsh climate, plant life in Egypt is not plentiful. Some Egyptians' plant life includes cotton, oranges, rice, palm trees, and grasses such as papyrus along the Nile River. The next paragraph. To survive in Egypt, the people had to adapt to their environment or surroundings. Most people in ancient Egypt lived near the Nile River. They survived by farming the fertile land along the banks of the Nile. Highlight that sentence. They survived by farming the fertile land along the banks of the Nile. They used the water from the great river to irrigate the crops. Your paper should look like mine. The ancient Egyptians made many contributions that have influenced us today. A contribution is something you give or something you do for someone else. The Egyptians were one of the first groups of ancient people to use written language. I like that sentence. The Egyptians were one of the first groups of the ancient people to use written language. Every ancient group of people had a spoken language, and some, like the Egyptians, began to develop a written language too. The Egyptians wrote using symbols or pictures called hieroglyphics. Raise your hand if you've heard of hieroglyphics. A few of you? We're going to highlight this. The Egyptians wrote using symbols or pictures called hieroglyphics. We're going to talk more about those. The ancient Egyptians were one of the first groups of people to share the idea that language can be spoken and written. Make sure your paper is highlighted like mine is. The ancient Egyptians also contributed many amazing inventions that we still use today. Highlight that. Some of these include the 365-day calendar, the clock, and paper made out of papyrus. Can you pause it? In addition to these contributions, the ancient Egyptians also left behind examples of their architecture. Architecture is the design of buildings. I like that. The best known examples of Egyptian architecture are the pyramids. Wave at me if you've seen a pyramid before. Maybe on TV, in a movie, maybe in your social studies book. Yeah, the pyramids are gigantic stone structures that were built almost 5,000 years ago as tombs for the kings and queens of ancient Egypt. Thank you for helping me. As you can see, the ancient Egyptians were pretty amazing people. They adapted to their early environment and left behind ideas, inventions, and architecture that still influence our modern world today. Now look at this piece of paper. Everyone take this out. Lay it right on top of your notes. That's what we're going to write. Their written language was the hieroglyphics. So this is where it says it in my text. I went back and found it. And then I can add it on here. Hieroglyphics. That was their written language. Give me a thumbs up once you have that written down. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Kristen. All right. Okay. All right. Now, inventions. Do you remember them talking about inventions? Look at these. What did we say? The calendar, the clock, and paper made out of the papyrus plant. So that's what we're going to look for. It says it in our text. Look on your paper. Do you see where it says it?
Yes.
The ancient Egyptians also contributed many amazing 5-day calendar. And the clock. And paper. We use paper a lot, don't we?
Yeah, like now.
Do you think we can be pretty thankful for the Egyptians?
Yes.
They helped us. They used papyrus to make paper, and we use it today. Give me a thumbs up when you have this written. All right. Don't stand in your way. All right. Now everyone look at the very first paragraph on your paper. Look at your first paragraph. I'm sorry, look at your last paragraph. That's what I meant to say. Look at your last paragraph. We're going to find, where does it say architecture? Do you have this written down? Right here. Architecture is the design of buildings. The best known examples of Egyptian architecture are the pyramids. So, if we're filling in our chart and it wants to know about architecture, what's something we could write, Kinley?
It's not the last one. It's the first one.
Oh yeah, it's close to it. The last one we highlighted. What's something that we can write about architecture? Tristan?
They use architecture to write.
Well, that was the hieroglyphics that they used. What about their architecture? What is it that they made? Those big pointy things?
Pyramids.
Pyramids, that's right.
I thought there was some.
That's right, they made pyramids. And you can draw a little triangle on your paper. That's how we're going to remember a pyramid. Because that's their shape. Do you see a lot of other buildings or anything like that today that's shaped like that? I don't either. That was really interesting. That's how they did it.
You said building?
I'm sorry, what?
You said buildings that shape?
Yeah, I was seeing if you've ever seen any pyramid-shaped buildings.
That's all I know.
Yeah. Until
Your nose is shaped
that's true. Let's look for in our text. Look for where it says location and land. Where does it say location and land? Look at the beginning. Put your finger on it. Look in your text. Where at the beginning does it say location and land? Yeah, Kinley's found it. Riyadh's found it. It says Egypt is located. Let's see where it is. Right here. Egypt is located in the northeastern corner of the continent of Africa. That's right. So that's one thing we're going to write. We're going to say it's located in Africa. Look right under that sentence. Put your finger on where it talks about the land. Do you see where it talks about land? I see there's one F word on there that's interesting that we might need to write down. Owen's pointing to it. Do you see it? It says there's fertile land. So we're going to write fertile land. Okay, and then we have our last one. Give me a thumbs up when you've written in fertile land. Everyone's doing awesome. Good job, Emmanuel. Good job, you guys. Alright, our last one says climate and plant life. Everybody put your finger on the second paragraph. Read that sentence in your head. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Egypt has a wet, cold climate. Egypt has a wet, cold climate. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Egypt has a dry, hot climate. That's right. That's what we want to write. We want to say dry, hot climates. The climate tells us about the weather there. It was dry, they didn't have a lot of rain, and it was hot. Hot, hot. Thumbs up if you got it. Good question? The Nile River. Okay, put your hands down. Yeah, a lot of times the hot sun evaporates water, and Kinley was talking about the Nile River. So we talked about that. Now, plant life. Look at the next paragraph. It says they survive by farming. It says they survive by farming the fertile land along the banks of the Nile. They use the water from the great river to irrigate their crops. Do you think that talks about any of the plant life? It talks about the water that they use for their crops. And it also talks about cotton, oranges, rice, palm trees, and grasses. Put your finger on that. Do you see it in the second paragraph? Cotton, oranges. So I think that's our best answer. We're going to write that in. We're going to list a couple of those. So put cotton. It is. That's a cute thing. Cotton, oranges, and let's put rice. And sometimes when we have more to say, we just put dot, dot, dot. And it's all in your notes, so you can still see it there. It's two T's. They're kind of close together. Help your partner if they haven't finished. Once you finish, look at this paper. Look at this paper I passed out to you. Point on the map. Where is Egypt? Point to it. Where is Egypt? Where is Egypt on this map? Emmanuel's got it. Good job, Hayden. Well, that's Egypt down here. Point to the little Egypt that's on the map. Good job. Take your highlighter and highlight it in. Color it in. While you're coloring that, just a quick review of what we talked about today. Thumbs up, thumbs down. The banks of the Nile River were very fertile. The banks of the Nile River, the Nile was the river that goes through the middle of Egypt. The banks of the Nile River were very fertile. Okay. You know? Corbin says yes. Do you agree with Corbin? The banks of the Nile River are very fertile? Yes, you should agree. The Egyptians wrote with hieroglyphics. That was their written language. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Table 4. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Hieroglyphics. The Egyptians used hieroglyphics. Landon? Yes, they did. Good job. Another question. Egypt was really cold and wet. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Egypt was really cold and wet. That's right. You should have a thumbs down. Class.
Yes.
Hold up this paper that we filled out. Hold up our chart. You are going to glue this into your social studies notebook on your next empty page. So find that page and glue that in for me. Let's put it in there too. You're also going to glue this in. You're going to cut just like Owen was doing. Corbin, table 4, look over here. Landon, you're going to cut out the edges of this like Landon was doing, like Owen was doing, so that it will fit in your notebook. You're also going to glue that in. So you need your glue stick out. This map we're going to have time to color later, so just stick that inside your notebook. Good job, Alex. Yeah. Where's your chart? Here it is. Okay, glue that in. Good job. Good job, Michael. Do you remember what we call the architecture that they use? Starts with a P. Starts with
Pyramid.
Pyramid. That's right. And you're going to cut that out.
It's nice and small now.
Everyone look at Haley's notebook. Your notebook should look like this. Your notebook should look like this. Table 3. Alex, do you have yours?
Yeah.
Okay. You just have to glue it in. You've already cut it. Good job. Thank you, Haley. After you've done that, you're going to stick this paper inside your notebook and cover it up. This glued in? Yeah? Where's your scissors? You need to cut the edge off of it. Cut the edge off so it'll fold. There you go. Okay, good job. And then turn this one more page, this inside. And we'll have time to finish it tomorrow.